Top 3 popular Linux distros newbies should skip in 2026, and the better ones to try instead. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm all about making Linux approachable, no gatekeeping, just real talk from someone who tests dozens of distributions every year for work and fun. Today, we are cutting through the noise with hundreds of Linux options out there. It's easy to get overwhelmed by hype. Some distros get tons of buzz on YouTube, Reddit, and forums, but they are not always the best starting point, especially if you're new to Linux or just want something reliable for everyday use. I'm not here to bash everyone. Every distro has its fans and legitimate use cases. But after years of hands on experience and checking the latest community feedback in 2026, there are three popular ones I strongly suggest most newcomers skip. I'll explain why in plain English, then point you to smarter, beginner friendly alternatives that actually deliver what you probably want. So, let's dive in. First up, Kali Linux. You have probably seen the Hollywood movies or flashy thumbnails calling Kali the ultimate hacker OS. It looks cool, comes packed with hundreds of security tools, and the name alone screams elite. But here is the truth. Kali is a specialized toolkit for penetration testing and ethical hacking professionals. It's built on Debian, updated frequently with the latest offensive security software, and it's a fantastic if you already know what you're doing. For complete beginners or anyone just exploring Linux as a daily driver, it's a recipe for frustrations. The system runs as root by default, not great for security habits. It's loaded with pro level tools you rarely touch, and it can feel bloated or unstable for normal tasks like browsing, office work, or gaming. Community consensus on forums like Reddit and DistroWatch is crystal clear. Don't install Kali as your first or main Linux operating system. Use it in a virtual machine for learning specific cybersecurity skills instead. If you are interested in privacy tools or light security features without the pro overload, try Parrot OS Home Edition instead. It's also Debian based, but lighter, more polished for everyday use, and comes with useful privacy apps like Tor browser pre-installed. It strikes a great balance, powerful when you need it, but not overwhelming. Or if security is your main concern without the hacking focus, go for an immutable distro like Fedora Silverblue. These atomic systems keep the core OS read only, so malware has much harder time sticking around. Changes get wiped on reboot, and updates are safer and easier to roll back. Plus, it ships with the SE Linux enabled for extra protection right out of the box. It's perfect for peace of mind as a newbie. Now, number 2, KDE Neon. KDE Plasma is one of the most beautiful and customizable desktop environments out there. I love it myself, and Neon is the official way to get the absolute latest KDE software straight from the developers. That's why enthusiasts rave about it. But Neon isn't built for stability as a daily driver. It's essentially a testing ground for cutting edge KDE updates, which means you might hit occasional bugs, especially with new Plasma releases. If you're just getting started and want something that just works without constant tinkering, this isn't it. The KDE community and forums openly position it for developers and early adapters, not everyday users. Instead, grab Kubuntu. It uses the same solid Ubuntu foundation as Neon, but pairs it with a thoroughly tested, rock stable version of Plasma. You won't get bleeding edge updates every week, which is actually a good thing for most people. But everything feels polished and reliable. Kubuntu also offers interim releases if you want fresher packages without the full neon roller coaster. It's the sweet spot for a gorgeous KDE experience that won't fight you. And finally, the one that's raising the most red flags, Winux, previously known as Linux FX or Ubuntu. This one's marked heavily as the ultimate Windows clone. It looks and feels almost identical to Windows 11, complete with a familiar taskbar, start menu, and even some Microsoft style animations. For Windows refugees, that pitch is tempting, but dig a little deeper, and the warnings pile up fast. The project has gone through multiple rebrands over the years, which is often a sign something's off. It claims to be 100% open source, while including proprietary apps, and it pushes a paid professional key for advanced security and unique enhancements, without clear details on what you are actually getting. Past versions have had documented security incidents, including user data concerns, and the community, from Reddit to tech review sites, consistently flags it as untrustworthy for daily use. Linux should be about transparency and trust. This one doesn't pass the smell test. Just skip it. Looking for a Windows like experience that's actually reliable. Zorin OS is excellent. It gives you that familiar layout with modern polish. And the paid pro version is completely transparent about what you get. Q4OS is another gem if you want a more classic retro Windows vibe with strong stability. And don't overlook Linux Mint. It's still one of the most recommended for Windows switchers because it focuses on simplicity, reliability, and it just works out of the box. So, to wrap this up, Linux is incredible because of the choices. But when you're starting out, smart choices save your time and headaches. Skip the hype machines like Kali, KDE Neon, and Winux unless you have a very specific advanced need. Instead, start with ParrotOS Home, Fedora Silverblue, Kubuntu, Zorin OS, Q4OS, or Linux Mint. Test them all in a live USB or virtual machine. No commitment required. So, what do you think? Have you tried any of this? Or is there a distro I should cover next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe for more practical Linux guides, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and happy computing.